What's up fams, Anis here from All Clouded, and today we've got the new T20 Endura by Innokin. So shout out to Hawke's Bay Vapor for hooking us up so we can do this video today, and also for hooking us up so we can do a giveaway. So we'll talk about that later in the video, but first we'll take a look at this little bad boy. So having a look at the T20, this is a mouth to lung kit. It's best suited probably for those that are looking for a more stealth vape, like maybe just say they're going out to town for the night and they don't want people doing the whole Vape Nation, Vape Live, you know, all that type of shit. So they want something more discreet that looks just like a cigarette, feels like a cigarette, and it's just going to be more polite to others in different situations. And it's also suited for those that are kicking the cigs. Now it's the most common thing that people that are kicking cigs, whether they've been smoking for a few years or, you know, 10, 20, 30 years plus, most of them will reach to something that's like a mouth to lung style vape, because that's what they've been used to for so long. So a kit like this is definitely up their alley. So when checking out the box, you can see what model you have. You'll see the color, which is on the front, and you'll also see the battery that's on it. So there's two models, 1500 mAh and 1000 mAh. So obviously the 1500 mAh's got more battery, so it's probably the one you want to go for, but the 1000 mAh model is quite a bit shorter, so it can also be something you'll be interested in. Got Innokin on the side and just other general information. So on the back, got general stats, also got the little scratchy thing where you can look for the authenticity. Now going in and looking at the box, just like the T18 and the T22, I really like the boxes they come with. They just, you know, just magnetic boxes, just little details like that I really like. General information again, just where your mod sits. Open it up. Got a USB cable for charging. Spare O-rings, always handy. And an extra set of drip tips. A couple stickers. And we also got the user manual. So back to the start of the show, the Endura T20. Now what I thought was interesting when I first looked at this is this cap. I have seen it being done before. No, these two holes here, you do not vape through them. It has a drip tip, just like most other kits. The reason for that, if this cap was fully closed, when you pull the cap off like that, it'll actually draw liquid into the coil and flood it. So it's just a little feature like that, which would just stops that from being a pain in the ass. But the main reason for this cap is so if it sits in your pocket and you're not gonna bash your drip tip around and get lint and all sorts of stuff into your drip tip. If you notice at the bottom over here, it's got this kind of indent at the bottom, goes right around. All you do, slip the cap on like that, and then that way you don't lose it. So it's actually got this little piece of rubber over here, and when you put it down on some type of slippery surface, it's just going to grab that extra friction, so hopefully it won't fall over so easy. Now looking at the device itself, it's just like most standard internal battery mods. This is a 3 clicks on, so that's turning it off. 1, 2, 3. Hold it down, saying no atomizer obviously. If you look at the kit, the button isn't indented, so it can catch if it's in your pocket and it may fire off. But the good thing about this is that they've got a little safety feature that if it's fired over 15 seconds, she's not going to fire anymore and it's going to turn off. So that's a pretty cool little thing, because it can easily happen if you're putting it in your jeans or in your jacket. So that's a great feature from Innokin. Kudos to use. So now looking at the tank, just like the T22 and the T18, it's got these bits of metal around the side. Now these are great features. I mean, it can still, if you're looking at it, it can still contact and crack, and unfortunately these aren't the type of models where you can just buy replacement glasses, so you buy a whole replacement tank as far as I know. So it's just something to be aware of, but my T18 has taken a hell of a hiding and it's still chugging along fine. But yeah, just remember that. Looking at the top, it's the provider drip tip, and it can fit any 510, so definitely thumbs up guys. So if we just unscrew this is your top fill system. Fill the juice in right there. One thing to notice though is that the bottom of this is plastic or Delrin, so be very careful when you're screwing it on and off, because you don't want all those threads to get screwed. That's it right there. That looks straight at your coil. So how to replace some primer coil on this tank. So you just undo the bottom right here, sometimes undo the top to make it easier because of the silicone seal at the top. Out comes your coil. So looking right down here, that little hole, that's where the air passes through. So looking at it on the tank, you'll have these little cutout grooves, and that lets the air draw in, and you've also got it at the top of your mod. So taking a look at the coil, they're just like the T18 coils in a way that at the top there's like a silicone type lid. What happens is when it sits inside your tank, this seals off at the top, which stops the juice from leaking out. But unfortunately, to replace the coil, you have to undo the bottom, and pulling the coil out releases that seal and juice leaks out. So if you need to replace your coil, just try to use as much of your juice as you can, get it as low as you can so that you're not wasting it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather waste a little bit of juice than vape through a wrecked coil. I've got a new coil right here. Now looking at different videos on YouTube, I've seen different ways of priming the coil, and I just do it the same standard way that I've always done it, and I just put a few drops on each side. Now it is subjective, some say put it through there. I mean, I don't know, there's not really a right or wrong way, there's just a better or worse. So I just put a drop on there, one on there, one on there, one on there. And I mean, for good luck, we'll just put one down the middle. And these coils have got this kind of like a square side to it, and that just fits perfectly in the side of the tank. Screw the bottom on. Make sure you clean any connections from any excess juice. Put our lid back on. Give it a good wipe down. So now I've got the new coil inside. Before I start vaping on it, what I like to do is I'll just draw through it, make sure that all the juice is moving around and it's not going to get any dry fires. Now, things to bring up about this mod. So great thing about this mod is when we're looking at charging it, it's got the charge port over here. You must remember that it has a 1 amp charging, so your standard USB chargers or using it through a laptop or anything like that works perfectly fine on this, but please do not use 2 amp chargers or anything above 1 amp. So things like your fast charge iPhone docks or your Samsung docks, those things will cook the chip inside, so it's something that we don't want. So use the 1 amp normal standard USB charging and it's perfectly fine. And the great thing about it is it's got pass through, so if you do manage to kill the battery or you can't wait any longer and you're getting the urge for a cigarette, then you can charge it while you vape on it. So absolute thumbs up to Innokin. And another thing bringing up again is how the fire button sits. You can actually see it is protruding a little bit, and it does have that 15-second safety feature where it's not going to keep firing, and and that's definitely a huge bonus to Innokin for putting that in, so thumbs up to them. You also notice at the moment it's on orange, because I've been using it a bit, so it will change colors depending on how much you've used it and where the charging's at. So just look at the colors. It's pretty obvious, being from green being that there's plenty of battery life, to red being you need to charge it. So just standard stuff there, guys, but something to keep in mind. Now looking at cons for this device, now I can't really think of too many cons. I mean, they're pretty standard, these starter kits or these mouth to lung kits from most of these companies. I mean, they're great to use, they're easy to navigate, there's no screens, there's no variable this and variable that, so I mean there's nothing really too much to complain about from this kit. Just one thing I would like to look at is the top fill system, and just the fact that this whole piece is Delrin or plastic, and I mean they don't provide you with another piece like this. I would rather have one standard drip tip and use my own 510s, or start looking at my own drip tips and have an extra one of these to replace in case it strips out, because with this being metal or stainless, it looks like it, and this being Delrin or plastic, this is obviously going to go first. I suppose you don't have that issue of cross threading like you do with metal on metal, but it's just something to notice, guys, that you have to be delicate with it when you're using it. But in saying that, a kit like this, you're not going to be filling it as much as you are a sub-ohm tank, so you'll probably be over this before you strip that out. Just something to keep in mind, guys. Now, when comparing the T20 to the T18, the only way I can describe that the way that they vape is I would say that the T18 is more like a rolled cigarette compared to the T20 being more like a tailor-made. Like, it just feels a little bit looser and it feels like you get a bit more air, which is something that I more prefer now that I'm more sub-ohm and that. But for people starting out, I mean, that's the best way I can compare them. They're both so similar. This is just probably a more updated model. It's just more like a rollie compared to a TaylorMade. So that's the Endura T20 from Innokin. Shout out to HP Vapor once again for hooking it up. So to be eligible for this giveaway, what you need to do, you need to like this video, you need to be subscribed to this channel. I'm going to put a link down in the description to our Facebook page where I'm going to repost this video. Now go into the page, like this video. Now in the comment section, what I need you guys to do is there are 3 stores from HP Vapor, and in the comment section on this video on the Facebook page, I need you to write where one of the 3 stores are in New Zealand from Hawke's Bay Vapor. So pretty simple. I mean, most people will probably snipe comments anyway, but just put down where one of the 3 stores are in New Zealand in the comment section on the Facebook page. Don't forget to like it. Now, if you are the winner of the T20 kit for this giveaway, I'll also contact you and you'll just have to PM me what your Google name is for YouTube and that, so I can check if you're a sub. Once again, thanks to HP Vapor, thanks to everybody out there, and as always, keep it cloudy, fam.